This is CBS News Chicago.
Team coverage right now at 10. A deadly tornado outbreak. More than 100,000 people still without power during this historic storm. From the suburbs.
It was just pulled out from the ground from the root, like you can see right in there.
To the city and northwest Indiana. We're showing you what this wild weather left behind.
After 3 nights in a row of severe thunderstorms, finally some calmer and cooler weather ahead in your first alert forecast.
Law and order rules the night at the RNC in Milwaukee, with crime in Chicago top of mind.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joe Donlin, live in Milwaukee for night 2 of the RNC.
And I'm Erica Sargent here in the studio with breaking news and weather updates. Topping the 10 tonight, that breaking news, a 6-year-old boy died after being pulled from the Kankakee River today. Police and fire were called to Beckham Park just after 3 this afternoon for a child who had gone into the water. Crews searched for him for hours, finding his body around 5:30. No word yet on the circumstances surrounding his death. Now to first alert weather. 24 hours ago, we were in the thick of the life-threatening storms, potentially dozens of tornadoes, pounding rain, flooding. What a night. The storms killed at least one person, a 44-year-old woman in northwest Indiana. Winds knocked a massive tree onto her Cedar Lake home. We're told a child and a man made it out of the home safely. We have live team coverage tonight. Madabel and Jermont have been on the road surveying the damage in neighborhoods all evening. We now know there were 11 tornadoes last night alone. We begin with meteorologist David Yeomans looking back at this dangerous tornado outbreak.
11 confirmed last night, 6 confirmed Sunday night. That brings our total of confirmed tornadoes in this 2-day outbreak to 17. Just for a little perspective, we still have 12 more damage paths that the National Weather Service is going to check out. That may bring our total up into the 20s, maybe even to 29 confirmed tornadoes. Hope to know more tomorrow or the following day. Just for a little perspective, these 29 potential tornadoes, that's about half of what typically the whole state sees in an entire year. We got them in our little chunk of the state in just 2 nights. Earlier this evening, we did have some brief downpours, even a thunderstorm up near Evanston along the Lake Breeze. Those have long since fizzled, and beautiful weather returns for tomorrow morning's commute. Low temperatures in the upper 60s at 6 a.m. But coming up, we actually have some pretty cool nights ahead for summer standards. Your first alert forecast next.
All right, David, we'll see you then. Thank you. Nearly 110,000 ComEd customers are still without power tonight, and some people may wait days for the lights to come back on. Our Jermont Terry is live in the south suburbs where there were some close calls. Jermont.
Erica, close to 200 homes in this Crestwood neighborhood are relying on this tonight, flashlights, to get around in their homes and in the neighborhoods. You can see behind me, they are still without power here in this 10 o'clock hour, going on 10:30 at night. But the thing about it, we know ComEd crews, they are putting in the work to get the grid back up. And just about everyone will remember where they were when these summer storms moved in. Here's the sound which echoed in so many neighborhoods. In southwest suburban Crestwood, the cleanup is underway. Yet for the cars, it's a waiting game.
This is the first for me to be this long without power.
They're passing time in their driveway because it's too hot inside.
We just been chilling the car.
The charging station, it's the cooling station, so it's the eating station. That's just where we're living right now.
They're like thousands of ComEd customers in the dark as the heat rises.
Realize that we might have to sleep in the basement. That's the only maybe cool place to sleep.
While on the Calumet Park Chicago border, take a look at what happened while this homeowner slept. Surveillance captured a massive tree fall into 2 homes on Vermont.
And this tree is perfectly healthy. There's nothing wrong with this tree. It was just pulled out from the ground from the root.
The root stands taller than Jasmine Bragg's. She came home after the storm to find her neighbor's tree perched on her roof. You think about what you're looking at here, it makes you say, Mother Nature is not to be played with.
No, you cannot play with Mother Nature. No, you're not. You better not.
She and her neighbors are thankful the damage is limited.
It'll be good, but nobody was injured. They were just scared.
Over in Tinley Park, Public Works crews went to work moments after the storms. They spent much of the night and day clearing heavy limbs from roadways. It's those big limbs with the wind combo. ComEd says some customers could be without power until Friday.
Wow.
Did you just say Friday?
Friday.
You serious?
My husband is upset about that.
No, Friday is the latest that ComEd says they hope to have all the power restored. Of course, they are working again around the clock to make sure that people can put these flashlights away and then get back into their homes. And of course, for the cars, you heard the reaction. They don't want to wait till Friday. They want power sooner than later. Reporting live in Crestwood tonight, Jermont Terry, CBS News, Chicago.
Yeah,
Erica?
you can certainly understand that and feel for them. Jermont, thank you. From the suburbs to rare tornadoes in the city of Chicago, our Maribel Gonzalez continues our live team coverage, showing us the damage she found today. Maribel.
Right, Erica, and as Jermont has been saying, many are still left without electricity, their cars, and as you can see, their homes damaged by the severe weather. Right now, we find ourselves in Calumet Heights because our viewers here reached out to us via email, their subject line reading only one word, the word forgotten, because that's how they say they feel after some crews came by to clean up these damaged power lines, but left without restoring it.
No electricity, no cold water, and we're hot in there.
It's been nearly 24 hours since Sonia Piercebell could turn on the lights at her Calumet Heights home.
I was half asleep, but I heard the sirens go off.
Monday night storm so severe, a tree fell over in the back alley, tugging at these power lines.
And all of a sudden we heard a pow.
And leaving the top of this transformer dangling.
Then we started looking around, and then we found out we had no lights, no air conditioning.
Several of her neighbors now also left with the lights out.
Electric people came out, cut them down so nobody would get electrocuted, did this, and left.
Crews working citywide to repair power outages.
This was last night.
And in hard-hit areas like Belmont-Cragin, also cleanup. Fallen trees, leaving some, like Beatriz Rebollar, stranded.
I had a doctor's appointment, which I had an Uber there and back downtown.
Both of her cars buried under these large branches, denting some parts.
You can see the dents.
And breaking off others.
Been making reports all day today, just waiting for the city to come out.
Have you gotten any sort of response?
No, just, oh, we'll send someone as soon as we can.
Until help arrives, these residents say they're left to weather the storm aftermath.
I was around before air conditioning, so I just deal with the best way it is.
But for Sonia, she's counting on her lucky number 7.
I was born 7/17, (7) at 7:07 a.m.
Hoping the lights come back before the clock strikes midnight.
Tomorrow's my birthday.
And we are wishing her a happy birthday. Now, ComEd does say that based on similar storms we've experienced, they estimate about 80% of those power outages to be restored by Wednesday afternoon. And as Jermont mentioned, the rest of them by Friday evening. We're in Calumet Heights. Maribel Gonzalez, CBS News, Chicago.
Yeah, wishing Miss Sonia happy birthday as well here at the studio. Thank you, Maribel. Those storms led to a wild scene on I-55 in Will County. Parts of the expressway near Shanahan are expected to be closed through tomorrow night as crews fix down power lines there. Right now, 2 trucks, including a semi, appear to be intertwined with those wires. We spoke to a driver caught up in traffic after the wires fell.
Honestly, I was a little terrified because I assumed, they were live wires, and it's just a really scary feeling because you didn't know what they were going to do, if they were going to continue to snap. So it was definitely scary.
Stern will also thank the first responders who arrived on the crash scene, saying they checked on everyone there multiple times. And as we learn more about these storms, our First Alert weather team will bring you that new information and track the changing conditions. We're always streaming on CBS News Chicago. Now we want to head out to Joe again in Milwaukee. And Joe, former President Trump's daughter-in-law, wrapping up the program for Republicans tonight.
That's right, Erica. Just a few minutes ago, in fact, just about a minute ago, the former president left the arena right over my right shoulder here. Tuesday night session is over. Night 2, the gavel has dropped. And just like last night, Donald Trump did make an appearance. He arrived to a musical welcome and standing ovation, still sporting a bandage you see there on his right ear. He raised his fist and smiled as he entered the arena, and then joined his running mate, J.D. Vance, and his family to watch the last couple of hours of the convention here on a Tuesday night. Some of the biggest names in the Republican Party took the stage tonight as speakers. That included Laura Trump, the head of the Republican National Committee, and also Donald Trump's daughter-in-law. Plus, several former political rivals of Trump spoke in a show of unity for the party.
You don't have to agree with Trump 100% of the time to vote for him. Take it from me, I haven't always agreed with President Trump. But we agree more often than we disagree.
Donald Trump has been demonized. He's been sued. He's been prosecuted, and he nearly lost his life. We cannot let him down, and we cannot let America down.
There is absolutely nothing dangerous or anything divisive about putting Americans first.
So the theme for tonight, Make America Safe Again. Several speakers pointing to crimes committed by migrants. And it was a message we heard a lot tonight. Several speakers tying immigration policies to crime and fentanyl overdoses, claiming a Trump re-election is the answer to reducing crime and restoring law and order. Now, among some of the safety-related suggestions tonight, beefing up police departments, protect orders for officers, rather, from, quote, frivolous lawsuits, and then changes to school discipline, among other things. Crime, of course, a big concern in Chicago. I had the opportunity to speak with Eric Trump this afternoon about how he thinks his father would reduce violence in Chicago. Do you think he would be committed to do more to help Chicago if he's reelected?
He would love, if somebody reached out to him and said, listen, I want to solve this problem, he would run through walls to do that. My father wants America to be safe, hence the name of this convention, hence the name of, obviously, tonight's activities.
I'll be back in just a few minutes with a Chicago connection. Right at the end of tonight's convention, Pastor Corey Brooks brought a little church on a Tuesday night. We'll have that, and our analyst Pat Brady will join us as well when we see you in just a bit. Erica?
All right, Joe, thank you. Well, tonight we're learning the man who tried to kill former President Trump requested Saturday off from work, telling his boss he had something to do. Our Charlie DeMar is in Butler, Pennsylvania, where investigators are piecing together more of the shooter's activities.
U.S. intelligence detected a plot against former President Donald Trump before the rally on Saturday. We're told that information was shared with the Secret Service before the rally. Now, at this point, there does not appear to be a link between that information and the shooting that took place here on Saturday, as the FBI does believe that the shooter acted alone. A local law enforcement officer with direct knowledge of the incident told CBS News 3 snipers from local tactical teams were stationed inside the building the shooter used in his attack. Before the shooting, one of the snipers spotted the gunman looking at his phone and glancing at the roof of the building. That officer took a picture of the 20-year-old. Then one of the snipers noticed Thomas Crooks looking through a rangefinder and immediately notified to the command post. Now, when Crooks was spotted again with a backpack, the officer called for backup, but at that time, the gunman had already scaled the building. And as investigators continue to build a profile and track the movements of the shooter leading up to the rally on Saturday, we have confirmed now that the shooter visited a local hardware store where he purchased a ladder. Right now, it's unclear if that ladder was used in this attack. We also know that that shooter visited a local gun range days before the rally and purchased ammunition hours before. In Butler, Pennsylvania, I'm Charlie DeMar, CBS News Chicago.
Next at 10 tonight.
Whatever conspiracy y'all got going on.
A power grab and more chaos in the south suburbs involving Tiffany Hinyard, the controversial Thornton Township supervisor and Dalton mayor. Then the research showing a simple change in how you commute to work could help you live a longer, healthier life. Plus, the 20th anniversary of the Midwest's #1 attraction. There are 4 days of free music to mark the historic day. And it's a done deal, finally, for the Bears' 2 first-round picks when we can see them in action. We're back in 90.
It got heated tonight in the south suburbs. The embattled supervisor of Thornton Township squared off with members of the township board over spending.
So trust me, how do the grass get cut? How do the grass get cut? So these are the games we play. I don't come here to be clickbait, guys. We come here to take care of the business. But right now, y'all letting the business handle y'all, and that's not how you go.
Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard was accused by board members of keeping certain items off tonight's agenda, including an ordinance board members say would cap spending by the supervisor. As a result, some board members refused to approve the hiring of landscaping contractors for the township. Henyard is also the mayor of Dalton and the subject of lawsuits and investigations. We want to head back out live to Joe in Milwaukee with the Chicagoan you were teasing earlier that capped off the convention tonight, Joe.
That's right, Erica. We've heard a lot of prayers here in the last couple of days. Each session begins and ends with some inspirational words. And tonight, those words came from Chicago Pastor Corey Brooks. You may remember him for camping out on a woodlawn rooftop to raise money for a community center. Tonight, Pastor Brooks referenced his roots.
I'd be remiss if I did not give the great state of Illinois and Chicago and the South Side a shout out. O Block, Opportunity Block. This is a week of celebration and a week of life, a week of democracy and liberty.
Quite a rousing closing prayer. We're joined now by our friend and political analyst Pat Brady, former head of the Illinois Republican Party. Pat, let's start with Nikki Haley tonight. I know you were waiting to see what kind of reception she got. What'd you think? There were some boos.
Not many. That's a pretty warm reception for someone that ran strong and long against the nominee. I thought she had a great reception. She gave a great speech. She never disappoints. She's one of the rising stars in the Republican Party, and I think she's one of the smartest and accomplished politicians I've ever seen.
The one thing you and I noticed was that she said straight up, Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period. That's the first time we've heard that.
Yeah, before she had said that I support him, and then she said, yeah, I'll vote for him. But tonight she came out and said she strongly endorses him, which is the right thing to do. I mean, she's a Republican, and she went through the process and lost. And now she supports the nominee, so she's doing the right thing.
What did you hear tonight from what did you call it? Your farm
team.
Your farm team.
I know this is probably going to make everybody burp up their dinner, but this all starts over in 18 months because these are one-term. Both these guys, whoever wins, is one term. So this is the Republican farm team. And I think it's pretty strong. All these tonight. Although I think Ambassador Haley was just a little bit better than the rest of them. I mean, this is Republicans have a lot to look forward to insofar as presidential candidates, I think.
You also liked the way she used Ukraine, for an example, in her speech.
Yeah, she got up and said we don't agree on everything, but she didn't concede or change her positions on national security and foreign policy, which is her strength. And, you know, she's been pretty tough that we should stay in Ukraine, and she's pretty disagrees with President Trump on a lot of the national security issues, but I think she did it in a way which was endearing to the crowd.
Pat, immigration, they hammered on tonight, and we know this is going to be key in this election. Arizona, Joe Biden won in 2020. Immigration may flip it to Biden or to Trump this year in the election. They went after it hard tonight, saying Kamala Harris had one job.
Yeah, and she did not do a very good job with it. And Arizona is a great example where, Carrie Lake, who also spoke tonight, is running for Senate. It's down 7 or 8.
To a Democrat.
To a Democrat. And Donald Trump's winning by 9. So that's a big issue there. Right. And they effectively, I think, pounded one of the biggest issues that people are concerned about. Even Chicago, it's a problem now because they've shipped them in. But President Biden just has done a horrible job with it, and I think they pretty much drove that point home tonight well.
Well, it's key because if you look at the numbers, if Trump wins Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada, which are all likely, possible, if not likely, Biden has to win Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, and those have now been sort of shifting a little more to the right.
Well, this where we sit right now is where this election is going to be decided. The whole southern part of Wisconsin, that's the swing area in the swingiest of states.
All right, Pat Brady, as always, we appreciate the insight. And Erica, we'll send it back to you for now.
All right. Thank you, Joe and Pat, for the vivid description of dinner tonight. Well, today, a happy 20th birthday shout out to a Chicago staple, Millennium Park. To celebrate, the city is hosting a free 4-day birthday celebration featuring concerts with the Grant Park Orchestra and Chicago rapper Common. But we want to take you back to 2004 for the park's opening festivities. The grand opening featured the world premiere concert by the Grant Park Orchestra and Chorus in the Pritzker Pavilion. Listen to some of the excitement for the park's opening.
I think it's much better than I had expected myself, having toured the grounds here, so I'm very happy with it.
and I'm a taxpayer.
Another highlight of the park's opening weekend, a 3-ring circus. And you see there some of the performers included marionette puppeteers and mimes. Well, David back with us now, and we want to get out there and enjoy Millennium Park, especially after the rough weather we've had.
And the good news is the weather will be great all through the week and really into the weekend, too. Actually, some surprisingly cool mornings for summertime heading our way. This comes after not only the tornado outbreak that we've talked much about, but widespread wind damage. Peak wind gusts, even in Chicago, 70, 71 miles per hour. Hurricane force at O'Hare, 75 miles per hour. We talked last night during our live storm coverage if this might be considered what's called a derecho, which is a widespread wind damage event. Look at the city of Chicago and all of our viewing area buried under these continuous wind damage reports. I timed it out here. This is about 500 miles from central Iowa into Indiana. No doubt meeting the criteria, doubling the criteria for what's called a derecho, widespread wind damage. Talk about a wet July. We've had so many rounds of these storms. We have tripled so far our average monthly rainfall to this point in the month. But we're not going to add much more to that going forward for a bit. Right now, temperatures in the lower and middle 70s. We have light winds and partly cloudy skies. A few of us saw some downpours, even a couple thunderstorms on the north side earlier this evening. A couple sprinkles right now in the loop, but overall we're remaining dry from here on out. A cold front, though, is entering our area draped beneath this Canadian storm system, and this is really the story. Cooler air starts to blow in overnight, dropping temperatures tomorrow to the 70s on the lakefront, close to 80 in Joliet and Midway. On Thursday morning, this is when you'll really notice the drop in humidity. We wake up in the 50s at O'Hare. How about some pockets of upper 40s west of the city that are possible on Thursday afternoon? A beautiful lake breeze, keeping temperatures cool and comfortable in the 70s. Tonight, humidity starts to drop a bit, but it's still a little mild under partly cloudy skies. Lows drop into the mid-60s. Tomorrow, 80, but cooler on the lakefront. It will be mainly dry, but it will be windy, so take that into account as you get ready for your day in the morning. 7-day forecast only has a slight chance of a shower tomorrow. Then beautiful sunshine and cool mornings the rest of the week. Weekend looks good as well with high temperatures in the mid-80s.
All right, thank you, David.
Sure.
Well, Ryan, some Bears players finally wrapping up their deals. Sealed.
Hey, the gang's all here. The Bears are some happy campers with Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze finally under contract. We'll break down their rookie deals and we'll show you how both of our city's all-star pitchers had a hand in the outcome of the Midsummer Classic. Well, after some anxious moments, maybe more so for Bears fans than the front office, #1 pick Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze are signed, sealed, and ready for training camp. When we talked to both first-rounders in recent days, neither seemed fazed about getting their rookie deals done.
I know fans are like, should we be worried? I don't think there's anything to be worried about, guys. Like, we're Bears and we're going to, go out there and compete for y'all.
You start getting to the end of the break and the training and you're ready to go, really excited. So I'm really excited, ready to go. Really happy to be back in Chicago and to get this thing going.
NFL rookie salaries are slotted, so it's unclear what the holdup was all about. Williams, who doesn't have a league-certified agent, has a 4-year fully guaranteed contract worth $39.5 million with a reported $25.5 million signing bonus. Odunze signed for more than $22 million, with the receiver getting $13+ million up front. Rookies are already at Hallis Hall ahead of the vets reporting on Friday. The first Bears camp practice is on Saturday. Chicago's own Coach K checking out the Sky in Vegas, their final game before the WNBA / All-Star Olympic break. Kennedy Carter looked like a defensive back picking off that pass. She takes it all the way for 2 of her 14 first-quarter points. The Sky jumped out to a 19-5 lead. Marina Mabry maintained the double-digit advantage with that deep three. The Aces didn't make it a game by the 4th, but Isabel Harrison keeping the Sky in front right now. They're hanging on to a 1-point lead late. Another solid Summer League outing for Bulls top pick Manis Buzelis. Buzelis showing off his handles, the sweet crossover and the finish at the rim. Bulls up 12 early on the Pistons. Detroit took control with a 22 second-half run, but off the steal, Buzelis throws down another one. He finished with 18 points. The Bulls, though, lose 85-77. They're 1-2 in Vegas. To the MLB All-Star Game deep in the heart of Texas, the Lone Stars for the Cubs and White Sox, Shota Imanaga and Garrett Crochet representing our city's baseball teams. Crochet started the 4th inning with the game tied at 3. The Sox southpaw striking out home run derby champ Teoscar Hernandez in a scoreless frame, and Imanaga notched a 1-2-3 inning for the National League in the bottom of the 4th. In the 5th, though, Jaron Duran takes Hunter Green deep to right center for the game-winning home run, a 2-out, 2-run shot. The American League wins it 5-3, so that's 10 of the last 11 Midsummer Classics that have gone to the American League.
Just dominating.
Good thing they don't determine home field advantage in the World Series,
right?
Although the Sox don't have to worry about that.
No, not for, well, hopefully down the line, but not right now, that's
exactly.
for sure. Thank you, Ryan. Check out this party with a bit of a preview for the 95th annual Bud Billiken Parade. The fundraiser at the Sophia Hotel was a celebration of this year's marshals, donors, and parade participants. Grand Marshal actor Jason Weaver was among those on hand tonight. Money raised supports the development and operations of the Bud Billiken Performing Arts League and other programs to empower students. The parade, August 10th, and CBS News Chicago is a proud sponsor. Riding your bike to work instead of sitting in traffic could lower your risk of death by nearly half, according to a new study. Researchers in the UK found active commuting, like cycling or walking, is associated with lower risks of death and mental and physical health problems. That's compared to inactive commuting, like driving or taking a train. The greatest benefits were seen in cyclists, who had a 47% lower risk of death from any cause. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. A look at your day ahead tomorrow. Breezy winds from the north and northwest drop our temperatures. By the afternoon, they really drop the humidity, and overall it'll be a sunny, beautiful day. I'm looking forward to a few days ahead of us, guys, where it just won't be as sticky when you're walking around outside. You know what I mean?
And calm. We want that.
Open those windows back up.
That would
be great.
Right.
Well, that's our news here at 10. A special live episode of Colbert starts right now.